Alright, I don't even know where to start with this one, man. What a freaking shambles. How do you mess it up so bad? I don't understand. You've got the freaking source material right in front of you. You're not even using it. Guys, I can't. I freaking can't with this series anymore. I am done. I thought my last rant was going to be bad enough, but oh my god. And I've been playing the game through. So on my channel right now, I have the live streams of... I'm playing through the game again. I played it when it first came out, but I haven't played it in a long time. So it's made me realize just how bad it is and how much they've really missed out huge chunks of the game. That makes sense. Okay, I'm not going to go through scene by scene in the review, but I'm just going to point out the things that really did my head in, because to be honest, the entire episode did my head in one way or another. There were a few, very, very few good moments, but this is probably one of the worst episodes of the series. I actually quite like the opening scene when Dina's getting the arrow removed. I actually like that, Dina and Jesse together. Like that scene, and it made sense them having to put the arrow through instead of putting the arrow out. I appreciate that detail. That scene was fine. Nothing wrong with that scene. That's absolutely fine. But then we're gonna have a scene when Dina is cleaning Eddie's back off, and this doesn't make sense. It's in the game, right? So I get it. They've put it in because the scene is in the game. But I'm looking at all of Eddie's wounds in the back, on her back. And I'm like, where does she get these wounds from? In the game, it makes sense because you're freaking crawling. You've just done the hospital. You've probably annihilated every wolf that was in the hospital at that stage. Like, you are beaten, battered, and bruised because you've been crawling. You've been doing everything. I don't really understand where Eddie got her marks from, because she didn't do anything with her back in the last season, in the last episode. So that was weird. This is another problem I'm having with this TV show, is that there's so many continuity errors that is driving me insane, and I'm noticing it even more now I'm playing the game through again. The continuity errors, such as not finding the photos of Abby and her crew, because somehow Dina remembers all of them, which I don't buy. You might remember one or two, but I don't buy that Dina knows all of their faces, all of their names. If you're put in a room, if you are put in a room full of people, and you're like, hey, this is this person, this person, this person, you don't remember all of their names. You might remember one or two people, especially you've just, ran for your life and you almost died, like, with the whole zombie horde outside. You're going to be stressed, the adrenaline's going, you're not going to be listening to what's going on. So the fact Dina, so says, remembers everyone, it's a bit of a moot point. It doesn't make sense. So she might remember one or two. But the thing that annoys me about this whole photo thing is that Ellie wouldn't have known what Dina looks like, because Nora. Nora was the one who grabbed her and pinned her down on her back during the whole Joel death thing. So how the hell did Ellie see what Nora looks like? Because out of everyone in the room, Nora is the one person Eddie absolutely did not see. And me playing the game through again makes me realize how important the whole Joel death thing was, because in the game they panned the camera to each person properly with like they held the scene there, which really implies that Eddie was looking at person to person and really trying to remember their faces. Also, Abby turned around to face her, which in the TV show, I'm pretty sure Abby doesn't turn around fully to face her. So we don't really have that thing of like Eddie knowing what Abby looks like fully. She's only saw like her from behind or from the side. And also, she doesn't know who Nora is or what she looks like. Not in a million years. And the fact she even finds Nora in the hospital, and the whole freaking hospital thing, how she magically arrives at the magic door in the woods to get her to this magical hospital, to the magical level where she finally finds Nora magically with no issues, and then knowing who Nora is and what she looks like, I just don't buy it. I don't believe it. So in the game version, because I'm playing it through now, so you guys got to catch up. If you guys are interested, go and watch my live streams, because I'm going to be playing through the whole game, but also critiquing the show as I go, comparing scene by scene. But so far I've got up to the bit where did I get to? Oh, I've just got to the bit where we go to the flashback with Tommy, which they didn't put in the show at all. That was completely missed. So I'm already seeing massive chunks they missed. And I've had a few comments in my last video, because I did another video ranting about the last episode, and a lot of people in the comments, well, not one person in the comments, they were saying that oh, you know, it's if you cut out all the boring traversal stuff, then yeah, it would be that short. But no, that's not the case, because now I'm playing through the game again. I can see they've cut out the Serafina Hotel, they've cut out the school, they've cut out the bit where Shimmer dies and then they get attacked. That's how they end up in the school. Eddie gets tied up, she almost gets killed, Dina falls through the roof and saves her, and they have to get out of the school. Shimmer's dead. Like, they cut that entire section out. We don't get any of that. Basically, we've gone from the open world bit of Seattle straight to we've gone straight from there straight to the TV station, and I've just been playing through. I just played through that last episode on my last episode, and that whole section took about 3 hours. 3 hours. And they decided to cut the entire thing out. And it's important because we go to the Serafina Hotel, we find that Tommy has already made it and destroyed everyone. I feel like this is part of the problem with not having Tommy stick to his original plan. And it really annoys, it's starting to grate on me now how they treated Tommy in this season. Also just Tommy's charisma, and everyone's missing charisma between each other. Like, you see actually how Eddie and Jesse are together. Like, they're way more friendlier in the game. They seem just so standoffish with each other in the TV show. I don't know what they're doing. They've ruined everyone. It's just, except Dina. I think Dina's the only person that they haven't ruined. But I feel like they're ruining every single character, and it's just hurting my soul, because we all love these characters, and to see them all portrayed and hurt this way just... Oh, but yeah, I feel like getting rid of those photos doesn't make any freaking sense on how she finds Nora. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that episode. I'm going to sidetrack, but this is my point about how it's important to have the continuity match up. So Eddie having all these wounds on her back, I have no idea how she got those wounds. Like, how? They didn't show how she got those wounds on her back. So I'm a bit confused what was meant to have happened there. Like... I mean, Nora in the hospital fell in the elevator and landed on her back, so I would understand Nora having things on her back. But hey ho, yeah. So so Dina's cleaning her non-existent wounds. I can't even hear what Eddie's saying in this episode. Like, I had to rewind it and turn the volume up because it was really quiet. But we learn she left Nora there, which is quite dark, and then she mentions the well and the wheel. I don't know why they've kept it that vague, but okay. So then we then going to go out with Jesse to go and find Tommy, because we have to go to the rendezvous point. Now, this is where I think the episode is boring because they're just having Jesse and Eddie walk out in the middle of the open, can I just say? Like, they're just walking in the middle of the street, like, without even trying to hide. And then they're chatting to each other about this whole pregnancy thing and everything. And then, but this is why I think the episode's boring, because I'm just about to go through that whole the whole Jesse thing very shortly. And there is just a lot more going on. Like, even the bit I've done with Jesse now, I have played the game originally, but I just wanted to play it again in line with the TV show to compare it. But you do so much with Jesse, and like the whole car scene when you're like jumping into the truck to pull away and all these infected chasing you. They could have kept that in there. They could have just had something a bit more exciting with Eddie and Jesse. Just something more exciting. All they do is talk and walk. And they see some wolves and they decide to... And that whole dilemma is a bit weird, because when Eddie wants to go and save the scarf from the wolves and Jesse's trying to stop her, I don't understand where Eddie's sudden morality comes from here, because in season 1 and in the first game with Joel, they both come across the hunters, right? And then they're you see like this woman getting attacked outside the building, and she's just being like killed on the street. And at that moment, like, Ellie kind of wishes she could do something, but Joel says no, we got to stay out of it, it's not safe. I'm paraphrasing, but you get the idea. So she's already learnt that from Joel. She's already learnt that you can't save everyone, and some things you just have to let go. It's safer not to get involved. So she's just ignored everything Joel's taught her. Obviously, she doesn't know how to read maps, apparently. And now that morality is questioned when she's going to want to save the Scar, when, again, Joel has taught her better than this. I just don't get what they're doing with Eddie. I just feel like they forgot who the characters are. I don't understand how they mess it up so badly when they did the first series pretty well. I mean, I know this first series had issues. The first series definitely had issues, for sure. But I don't know why. I don't know how they mess up the character traits so much in the second series to where they're now not in line to who the characters are meant to be in the game. Like, the source material is there. And Craig, and also, Maidson is meant to be a fan of the show, right? He's the one recreating the show, but he's a fan of it. How does he mess it up? And I think the problem is that he has too many ideas. So I've been watching quite a few interviews to try to just grasp what the hell has gone on in this thing. And Craig Mazin has said in a few interviews that he would get this brilliant idea, like the whole getting Mel, like Mel asking her to cut the baby out and stuff like that. That was a Mazin idea, and what he did is he would call up Neil Druckmann and be like, hey, I've got this really cool idea for this scene. Can I include it? And Neil Druckmann's like, yeah, sure. That's a good idea. But I'm starting to wonder if Neil Druckmann actually saw the final script of things, or that he would see how it was going to play out altogether. Because Neil Druckmann said he was very busy and he struggled trying to juggle everything that was going on. He had stuff to do with Naughty Dog, and he would struggle being there for the show. So he definitely missed out on a big chunk of the show development because he was trying to juggle his time. So even though Craig's like, hey, we can add this in, and Neil Druckmann's like, yeah, go for it. I wonder if at any point they could see how this was all going to play out as one thing and see how all these ideas mold together, because they don't mold together, and that's the problem. We do then get this nice scene in the library while they're waiting for Tommy. And we get a nice scene between Jesse and Ellie. Jesse tells a bit more about himself and his morals and his backstory. I quite like that scene. And he definitely calls Ellie out, so I quite like that as well. So that was a nice little addition. I quite enjoyed that little scene they put into the whole thing wasn't terrible. Well, I mean, it was. Okay. The whole thing wasn't terrible, but one or two scenes was okay. That's what we're going with. Anyway, they then hear it's a sniper, and we know it's Tommy, so they go off. And then, of course, Ellie then spots the aquarium in the distance, and she links together the whale and the wheel and realises that Abby's there. And this kind of plays out similar to the game. However, I want to get to that point to the game myself and see it one-on-one and just see how the scene was played out differently, because I can almost guarantee you it was better in the game. So then they're going to split up and they go. And we again we cut out a massive chunk of the game again, where Eddie's trying to get through all the buildings, trying to avoid all the wolves and everything, and the Seraphites, and we missed a bloater scene in the arcade. We missed so much. A whole shopping mall scene. All that is gone. All that's gone. And then the boat scene they decided to put in here was so long. I don't know if it's so weird how this show is rushing everything, where it feels like they're speed running the game, but somehow the boat scene is the longest freaking scene in the entire show. I was like, okay, right, she's on the boat, cool, she's getting there, and like it just kept going on and on. I was like, okay, are they getting to this? Are they getting to the thing yet? And then the boat capsizes in the most unrealistic way possible. It doesn't even look real when the boat flips up and she flips up, but somehow she's okay, and you know, and she washes up on shore. That whole bit looked so awkward to me. It didn't look right. And then they bring in this freaking scene with the Seraphites. Why? It doesn't make any freaking sense. So apparently, I did some research, and apparently this scene was meant to be in the game and it was cut. Well, there might be a reason why it was cut, because maybe it doesn't fit in the story. But yeah, this scene was brought in there randomly. It doesn't fit. It doesn't make sense. This whole narrative, I don't know what they're trying to do with this narrative about she wants to save the kid, and then the kid doesn't want to save her, and then she doesn't save the baby. I don't understand what the overriding message about the kid thing is. It's almost like it's affirming to her, no, she shouldn't save the kid because the kids aren't going to save her. It's weird, right? Because her morals are saying to do the right thing, but what this is showing her that doing the right thing isn't good because she's going to die. So she should carry on not doing the right thing. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense for a character development standpoint. If anything, it makes her go backwards for saving children. I don't know. It's weird. And like, they almost recreated the scene for scene what Abby would have meant to go through. Like, Abby was meant to go through the scene of being strung up and everything. So now it's obviously Eddie instead. And I don't know what they're doing with this. And why it's in there. Does that mean that we're not going to have the scene when Abby's there? Or if they are going to have the scene when Abby's there, we've seen the scene like 3 times now. Because we've seen it happen in the woods now with Eddie, and we'll see it again with Abby. So unless they're going to do a different thing with Abby, I don't know why the scene was in here. It made no sense. Also, when they get the alert that the village is under attack, they're just like, oh, just leave her and go. That's not, I'm sorry. That is not what would happen at all. There's no way in a million years that they would just drop her and run. They would kill her and then run. Like, it's so unbelievable. And it's stupid things like that that just suspends the disbelief, and it just takes you out of the show. And do you know what? I'm going to say Bella Ramsey probably wasn't the worst thing about this episode. I actually think she did like pretty good overall in this episode. But this writing was so bad. This episode, the writing, I mean, a lot of episodes, the writing's been pretty shocking throughout, but this whole episode was just the freaking worst. It was boring. There's too many, it's so stupid because there was so many long-winded shots of nothing happening where they could have had things, and then they added this Seraphite scene that didn't need to be there, wasting about 5 minutes of valuable time. Oh, guys, I literally can't anymore. I'm so... Anyway, okay, right. We get to the aquarium, which is also rushed. We don't get to see much of the aquarium. We go in. We don't get attacked by a dog. Alice lives to see another day. Which I knew they would cop out on. I freaking knew. I called it in my last episode. In my last episode when I was trying to work out what they're going to do next, I said they would not do the dog scene. I freaking knew they wouldn't have the guts to do it. I freaking knew they wouldn't have the guts. Because if they didn't have the guts to kill off Shimmer, there's no way in a million years they would have had the freaking dog there. And I know we don't want to see dogs die. I don't want to see dogs die. But it's meant to be there for a reason. In the sense of like Eddie's pure vengeance is just like doing more damage. And she doesn't want to kill the dog, really. That's kind of what it feels like. Like, it's meant to be that she doesn't really want to kill the dog. So when she does kill it, she's like, it like shakes her a little bit. Okay, then we get to Owen and Mel. Weird how it's in a different location. That's a bit weird. How we've done the whole series one-on-one with the set design, but for some reason they haven't done the set design for the scene. I'm not sure why that is. I would have liked it in the original scene personally, but maybe they haven't built the whole aquarium yet. That's what I'm thinking. Maybe because the aquarium is in it's like one scene. Maybe they were like, they didn't want to do the whole aquarium at this point until the next season. So maybe that's why, but I wish it was in the original scene. I don't like how this goes down either. I actually rewatched the original scene again straight after watching it, and the original's better. The game's better. The game's more aggressive. It's shocking. Even the scene that Mel's pregnant isn't shocking to the same degree it is in the game. The game's so much darker because it all happens fast, and and it's aggressive, and it's quite, everyone puts up a fight, and also Ellie throws up after the thing in the game. She doesn't throw up in this one, or I want to see that, but even though Bella Ramsey did the whole screaming, crying thing, it didn't have the right emotion. I could be wrong here. I probably am, but I wasn't buying the reaction. It's almost like, right, now cues screaming Ellie. Instead of, I watched the scene again, and it was from the game, and it's hyperventilating. It's panic. What have I done? Oh my god, this is too much. And then she throws up. This TV show is just Ellie screams, but that's it. We don't have this build up of an internal feeling of oh my god, because you can almost hear Ellie's thoughts in the game during the scene. You just from her breathing and her hyperventilating and how she gets upset, and it's it builds up where Ashley Johnson is doing a monologue in her head during this point. She's like, oh my god, I've gone too far. What have I done? I didn't want this to happen. And it's we don't get that desperation from the TV show. Even though Bella did an okay job in this episode, I just feel like it was the wrong thing. And this is probably because they also told her not to watch the game before she did the show. So fair enough that was her interpretation of it. But when you think about Ellie's internal monologue and what she's actually thinking in all these scenes, what Bella's thinking and what Ashley Johnson is thinking is completely different in the characters. But I also kind of blame the writing for this, and the fact that Bella hasn't watched the game. Because it's made me realize now, because of how much they cut out in the game, they have cut out so much stuff in the TV show. We even extra flashbacks with Ellie, extra context. Bella doesn't know the extra context. So if you think about it this way, Bella doesn't know all these extra details. She's going on this really rushed freaking script that doesn't have the backing and all of Ellie's past traumas in this freaking script that she's got. So she's reading the script at face value in the same way we're watching it at face value, in the sense, I added up all the timings for everything. 45-minute episodes for 7 episodes is something like 3 hours and something minutes. I can't remember now. 3 hours, 40 minutes, something like that. They're trying to tell this entire 12-hour section in just over 3 hours. And also Bella getting the script, and that's the only thing she's got to go on, because they've told her not to watch the game. They told her not to play the game. So that means she has to try to contextualize Ellie's character in 3.5 hours worth of content. And less than that, because some of it's not her anyway. So this is the problem. So I don't know if Bella isn't right for the role. 100% she's not right for the role. But I think for what she's got, for what she's given, she can't really do much else without the context. But she should have watched the games. And they should have made everyone watch the games. I don't care if they're doing an adaptation, their own version of it. They have to know what the source material is, at least. You wouldn't audition for Harry Potter and not know anything about Harry Potter. Even as an actor, you would at least get some idea of what you're going into. I also been watching a lot of interviews with everyone, basically, and I've learnt that Bella's audition for The Last of Us was the scene when she's chained up with Marlene waiting to meet Joel, and meeting Joel for the first time. That was her audition scene. And yes, she nails that scene. That scene is probably one of the best scenes of Ellie. But if that was her audition scene, that means she nailed that scene, which means, yes, she's the perfect Ellie. They did the audition and was like, yes, she's Ellie. She freaking nailed that scene and she can do it. But I don't think they thought about the future Ellie. They should have auditioned her for the future Ellie at the same time they auditioned her for the main game. They should have made sure she could do both. They probably thought about both. This is just my opinion, by the way, and my guess of what happened. But yeah, they probably thought about it like, oh, right, could she do both young, old? Yeah. Like, they're probably thinking, like, physically, could she do both young, old? But they probably didn't audition her on her acting ability to do older Ellie. I could be wrong, but I'm just going by what they said in interviews, and that's what Bella said. Her audition scene was the scene with the chain. They should have made everyone watch it, and it's not even all the actors' fault. It's not all the actors' fault. It's the freaking writing. This whole episode, they're trying to, Jesse's trying to say, I can't die. I'm going to be a dad. I need to protect my family. That's like the freaking easiest way to say you're about to die. Like, come on. I know, like, writing like that, you're just setting up a character to die. It's so obvious. And considering Jess's death's meant to be a shock, and it is still a shock for people who have... I've been watching people's reactions, and not everyone sees it coming. But all the people who haven't played the game and who have watched this show, as Jesse's talking about, I can't die, people say, oh, he's going to die. So you've ruined the surprise. The one shock value you have of Jess's death is ruined because you spent the whole episode setting it up. Jess's death is brutal because it's not set up. Because you don't have a chance to mentally think of it happening before it happens. You don't prepare yourself for it. It comes out of nowhere. And for them to spend the whole episode building it up just means you expect it to happen. I tell you what though, the person who has played the games and the person who is a fan of the games is Denver, who plays Abby. And you can tell because she freaking nails it. She is the best. I actually prefer her as Abby. She looks more like Abby than what Abby does in my head. I even watched the scene again. She sounds the same as Abby. Her voice, you can tell that girl has worked freaking hard to become Abby. Her voice, her emotions, she even does the thing with the teeth. You wasted it. She does the same. The attention to detail. She did it really freaking well, and yeah, she did it amazingly well. So I'm looking forward to her playing Abby because she's going to be a good Abby. I'm pretty sure she's going to be a fantastic Abby. The problem is though, she's going to be so good at playing Abby that everyone's not going to want Eddie to come out the other end. Everyone probably will be Team Abby by the end because Abby's character will be better and hopefully better portrayed as long as the writing's okay. It all comes down to the writing at the end of the day. Now, for the non-game viewers, this is going to be interesting because the non-game viewers are already kicking off because Eddie's dating Dina and the whole wokeness thing that comes into The Last of Us. I don't really care about any of that. I don't care either way. I don't care for it. I don't care against it. It is what it is. I don't care about who's dating who, whatever. But anyway, people were really mad because they don't want to see those scenes they didn't want to see that scene happen. And they didn't want, they didn't want the wokeness, and I get it, but I don't care either way. I don't care. I just want a good story. I don't care, who's what in it. But obviously season 2 is going to introduce a character called Lev. And, people like Lev a lot. People root for Abby and Lev. Lev's a good character. But I'm not going to spoil too much because people hadn't seen it, but I wonder if people are going to have an issue with Lev just because of who Lev is. Do you know what I mean? I think it's going to rub people up the wrong way, even though no one should really care these days, but I think it's going to rub people up the wrong way. But I'm hoping they cast Lev well, and I'm hoping it's going to be a good actor that plays Lev because it needs to be good. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't have much hope for the next season. I really don't. I do not have hope about what they're going to do. And I've been watching a few people who have actually enjoyed the entire series, who've actually been pro Last of Us 2. And even the last episode broke them. The last episode made them reflect on the whole series and was no. it wasn't it. So my predictions for season 3, because they're trying to do a season 4 out of it as well. So my thinking is, we get so little time with Eddie, it's ridiculous. Because the first 2 episodes are Jackson. And then the Seattle day 1, 2, and 3 have to be crammed in the rest of the episodes. So 2 of the episodes really aren't to do with after Joel's death. They have to cram the whole story in. But with Abby's part, there's going to be 7 episodes again. So here's how I think it's going to go down. This is my predictions how it's going to go. Day 1 will be episode 1 and 2. Day 2, 2 and 3. Day 3, 4 and 5. Is that right? No. I messed it up. There'll be two episodes per day. So day 1 would be 2 episodes. Day 2 would be 2 episodes. Day 3 would be 3 episodes. This is how I think they're going to break it down. Then the last episode, so the 7th episode, will be that conflict coming together, and they're going to have their fight, and we're going to see what happens then. Now, how they're going to end the series, my prediction is they're going to go one in 2 ways. They're either going to do the conflict and then... I don't want to give it away. Okay, right. If you haven't seen the series yet, don't friggin' listen to this bit. You got your warning. Don't listen. But if they are going to continue with it, I think like after the conflict and Abby says, I never want to see you again. And they're on the floor and they're kind of beaten and bruised and it turns to black. That might be the end of the series. But what I think they're going to do is they're going to do the flash forward into the farmhouse. We're going to get the lovely scene with the farmhouse. And then Eddie's going to want to go out and fight Abby. And that would be the end of the series. I think that's how they're going to end it. They're going to end it that Abby's about to go... Eddie is about to go and pursue Abby once again. And they're going to end it there. That's why I think they're going to end the next season. It makes sense. 2 episodes per day. The last one, the final fight, plus the farmhouse. And then season 4, because I don't know if season 4 is going to be like 6 episodes or something. Season 4, I think they're going to do the, is it California they go to? No, Santa, it's either Santa Monica or Santa Barbara or something. Santa something, right? They go to the tropical islands. They go to the tropical part of America. They go there, and then I think the whole... Because people were saying in the game, the biggest criticism of the ending of the game was that whole end section felt weird. It didn't feel like it should be there. We thought like the game was over, and now they're making us play again, and people were having like fatigue by that point because, you know, people had enough by that point. Even though the setting was cool and they had the whole thing with the rattlers and Abby gets kidnapped and Eddie's there, but I think they're going to extend that. I think they're going to build out that story a bit, because one of the biggest complaints of the game on that section was that it felt rushed. It felt weird that it was there, and it felt like it shouldn't be there. And why is this part here? It feels like this was going to be a big part of the game and they had to cut it down. People felt like it was weird. They built this whole place for this like one section, and it felt rushed, but at the same time it felt extended to the game. Yeah, I think they're going to expand that whole section in like 6 episodes or something, where they'll have like 3 episodes maybe following Abby, 3 episodes following Ellie, but maybe they will do it one by one and switch over, kind of similar to how they do the end. But they'll fill it out a bit more. They'll actually show the bit of Abby being captured properly, because we don't see that. Also, she was in the cell for so long, we don't see that either. It kind of just skips to the end. So I got a feeling season 4 is going to be that end bit. I think that's how they're going to do it. It makes sense. I reckon that's what they're going to do. It makes sense for the order of things for that to happen. But will there be a fan base to watch it by that point? Will HBO allow them to do a season 4? Because maybe after that whole farmhouse thing, maybe HBO and the viewers are going to drop. I think HBO would be like, nah, we're not going to give you a season 4. Yeah, it's interesting. Also, so obviously they're working on Intergalactic now. Naughty Dog are working on Intergalactic, and people are wondering if a part 3 is going to come out, and if it does, when. So Intergalactic's meant to be rumored for 2027. So by then, season 3 will come out on the TV show, 2027. same sort of year as Intergalactic. And then I think then, obviously, if it's another 2 years to season 4, it wouldn't surprise me around that time is when they bring out a part 3 game. So I wonder if they got part 3 sort of earmarked for 2029. Because it would make sense with the TV shows that if they were working on a 3rd game, it would come out after the 4th series, so people would want to go and play the game straight away. Which also makes me think that they are going to be expanding season 4, because I think they're going to leave season 4 on a bit of a cliffhanger, like more so than the game. Because I think they're then going to continue the story with the game, and people want to buy the game because they want to know what happens. I think that's how they're planning it out. In my head, it works for timing. I think that's where they're going with it. Season 2, my god, what a mess. I feel like we need a remake of the 2nd season. That's what we need. Forget about season 3, we need a remake of this one. How it looks is phenomenal. The scenery looked amazing, and some of the characters are good, but what they've done with Eddie's character, and the thing is, Eddie is the main character, so you start messing with the main character, you're going to start messing up my main score. I'll say 6 out of 10. To be slightly generous to it, but that's a generous score because I think it's less than that. Honestly, I don't know how they messed it up. So they've just absolutely rushed this. It's ridiculous how they fit a 12-hour segment into like 3.5 hours worth of content. Is ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous, and it almost hurts me more that they're going to give more time to Abby. It's not right. And even then, Abby's part is still going to feel rushed because 7 episodes isn't even enough to cover Abby's story either. So both sides are going to be rushed. But I reckon, yeah, Abby's part will break down 2 episodes per day. Last episode, the fight and the farm scene. 4th season to the tropical part of America. I think that's how it's going to happen. It makes sense to me. And then they're gonna expand on season 4, make this whole new story from it, then have this kind of twist at the end where there's going to be like a continuation, like a cliffhanger, and then they'll release the game that same year. That's what I think is going to happen. So Intergalactic, I will be playing Intergalactic, and don't forget as well to follow me, subscribe to me, because I am doing the live stream of the game of Last of Us Part 2. I'm live streaming it right now, so you guys can come and catch up and see what I think. I'll be critiquing the freaking TV show as I play the game. I already have been moaning about the whole thing. Oh god, it's just turned into like one massive rant fest really, but there we are. And yeah, and I will be playing Intergalactic when it comes out because I will give it a fair shot. And I like Tati. I like Tati Gabrielle, the girl who plays Nora. I like her as an actress. She's in a lot of things that I like. She was in Sabrina. She's in You. Yeah, you know, the serial killer guy. Yeah, like she's a great actress. And even though people might not like how she looks in a video game, but I like her as an actress, she's going to do well. Also, apparently the guy who plays Jesse is also in Intergalactic, and the guy who plays Joel's dad is also in Intergalactic. So basically they just taken characters who were in Last of Us Part 2 and have transported them into Intergalactic. So yeah, at least we're going to see Jesse again. Obviously not as Jesse, but we're going to see Jesse again. And the guy who played Joel's dad, he's going to be in Intergalactic. So they've got a pretty good cast lined up for it. So I'm always going to give it a go. And I quite like spacey games, so we'll just see. Apparently it's the deepest game they've ever worked on. So we'll see what that means in reality. But yeah, I'll play it. Why not? And if it's bad, then I got something else to moan about. So it's a win-win either way for me. So anyway, yes, thank you for watching. Thank you for bearing witness to my rant. I feel like this is a therapy session and I feel much better for it. I think I'm going to do like a video just talking about all the problems. Like, because I don't want to eat this too long, but I do want to do a couple more videos on it. And yeah, one of the ones, almost like, you know, everything wrong with such and such series. Like, you've seen those videos, right? I won't do it to that thing, but I'm gonna bullet point. I might even watch the series again. just to bullet point everything that's wrong and all the continuity errors and everything that doesn't make sense. I think and especially after I've played the live stream, I'm going to have a clearer sense of it. Yeah, so I'm going to do another video just listing everything that went wrong. And then I might do another video about talking about how I would have improved it to make it better. Yeah, so I'll do a couple more videos. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already and turn on the bell notification so you can be informed when the next video is up. Channel memberships are also now live, so if you wish to support the channel further, you can do. Any money made will be put back into the channel, making it bigger and better for you guys. So anyway, thank you for watching. Take care, stay safe, and until next time, bye.